Welcome viewers to another edition of Brave Namibia, where we celebrate both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Our first stop today is in Windhoek, where Jeanette Diergaard caught up with Maja Brinkmann, a young triathlete who will be competing in this year's Commonwealth Games after ending second at the African Triathlon Cup earlier this year.
So welcome to the interview. We're speaking to Maja Brinkmann, a triathlete, and today we'll conduct this interview in English, as you can obviously hear. So Maja, can you just tell us a bit about your background in triathlon?
Well, growing up I did a few triathlons for fun. It was never really that serious for me until the beginning of this year, when we had nationals and all the Africa Cup races like in Port Elizabeth and Swakop. So then I decided to take the sport a little bit more seriously, and then here we are.
Here we are, and you'll be partaking in in the Commonwealth Games. Can you just tell us how your preparation for that is so far?
So I've been training like consistently ever since I knew that I qualified, and we recently went to Wales to train with the the Welsh High Performance Centre. Which was really awesome, getting that kind of exposure and learning how they train and getting to know what other people do. So have worked that into our training a bit. So I'm really working hard to try perform well at Commonwealth.
Okay, awesome. And how excited are you for the Commonwealth Games?
Really excited. Like, I haven't shut up about it to my family. They have heard all about all my excitement.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you perhaps also just touch on some of the other competitions that you took part in this year, how you placed and how that went?
So in March, I went to Port Elizabeth and I came 4th in the Africa Cup there. Then a week later we came to Swakopmund and I came 2nd after Kitty Ribbing from South Africa. And then I went to Wales and we raced in England in the British Super Sprint Series, and there it was a very different system to what we have. Like, they have A finals and B finals. Okay. So I qualified for the A finals, which was really awesome, and I came 19th out of 70, which was, I guess, pretty good for considering I only really started the sport at the beginning of the year. And I'm happy with that. And I got to know a few of the athletes I'll be racing against in Trinidad and Tobago, which is really great. So the next stop is Tobago.
Okay, and when is that taking place?
It will be on the 6th of August and the 8th of August.
So when you're taking part in these competitions, are you away from school? How are you juggling that as well?
Oh, it's quite difficult. Most of the events I've done so far were on the holidays, so I didn't have much difficulty with keeping up with school, but now I'll be gone for 2 weeks. Okay. During school time, so that's a lot I'll have to try work back.
Awesome. And your training schedule, how does that look? Where do you go and what do you do to, stay fit and to compete well in these competitions?
I train at Dolphin Swimming Club, and then my coach is Adele Delaray, and she helps me on the track and she gives me cycling sessions. I also go to Lima Gym, where I do spinning sessions once a week, so that's all part of my preparation for this big event.
Awesome. And do you also partake in other athletic competitions and other sports in school?
No, not really. This takes up a lot of my time.
Oh, okay. And when you do these training, how's your nutrition? What are your preparations in terms of when you have a big competition coming up?
I normally just stick to what I like racing on. Normally it's a lot of like bars, protein bars. I eat Future Life for breakfast. I really enjoy eating Future Life. And then it's just keeping a balanced meal like protein, carbs, and all that kind of stuff.
And for your spare time and when you're not training a lot, what do you do?
I like to hang out with my friends or maybe do something different, sleep sometimes. Yeah,
I think sleep is pretty important when it comes to training and everything. And schoolwork, how are you keeping up with that?
Normally we don't get too much homework and tests and stuff like that. But when I do, you just have to work it in somehow and try make it work.
Awesome stuff. And for future triathletes, do you have anything to encourage them with? How they can, you know, come in, get into the sport and do it?
Basically, like, just do it.
Yeah.
It will be hard because it is 3 disciplines you have to train, but it's really worth it if you want to take part in a sport like this, and just show up to a competition, get yourself interested, and see where things go.
Awesome. And are you hitting your PBs when you go out to train?
Yeah, at the moment I've been pretty good with my times and all that kind of stuff, so I'm hoping that continues till all the way.
Yeah. Do you have a background in swimming and track?
Yeah, I'm initially a swimmer.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I broke my collarbone, so then I couldn't swim as much, so I started cycling, and then that's kind of how I started training for triathlon.
Awesome. And when did you start with the swimming journey?
Oh, when I was 2 years old, I started swimming at 2, and then started racing competitively at 7.
Oh, okay. So you've been at it for quite some time.
Yeah.
Now your family, of course, the Brinkmann family, has quite a history in sport. Can you perhaps just touch on that, when you started taking sports seriously and how that all developed?
I guess swimming was the first sport I actually took pretty seriously, and then with all the events that they've hosted, I just took part, like ran the X-Trail. There's an Avis X-Trail this weekend that I won't be taking part in, just to make sure I don't get injured.
Yeah.
But I will be there helping, and so things like that always took part in and just continued from there.
Awesome. And your family's background in sports, can you also maybe just touch on that, what your siblings are doing and your family in general?
My little sister does quite a lot. She plays hockey, tennis, she swims. She's also interested in triathlon, but she hasn't really decided to take it as seriously yet. My dad also grew up playing sport in Namibia, and they own a sports shop, so it's always kind of been in my blood.
And what competitions do your dad owns OTB, right? What competitions do they host throughout the year besides X-Trails that is also a part of Standard Bank, right?
Yes, Standard Bank X-Trail. It's the X-Trail series, which is 3 runs. Then there are a few triathlons, one at Oudenaarde Dam Point, and then there's the Point Break Open Water Swim and the Jetty Mile, Pupkewitz Jetty Mile in December. So there's runs, triathlons, swims. There's a lot that they host.
Okay, will you be partaking in that, or is that a bit too much?
No, I'll take part in what I can take part in.
Okay. And does your father also have a hand in your training and your coaching?
Yeah, he does, especially because we were away now for the holiday. My dad has to help with training, so he speaks to my coach, and he'll ride with me so that I'm not alone, so he is there quite a bit.
Do you also do these weekend cycling, fun cycling events?
I'm not that big in cycling. It's the one that I didn't do the most, so I didn't have much interest in it, but maybe in future I'll look to doing those kind of things.
Okay, so your cycling background or your cycling training is mostly the spinning that you do?
Not really. I do a lot of road rides as well, and intervals and long, easy rides to help with my training.
Okay, and what are your current PBs so far?
Oh, I couldn't tell you exactly.
Okay.
Because we don't look at PBs often. Often it's just training, but yeah.
And do you have any role model that you look up to when it comes to the triathlon?
No, not really. I haven't been into the sport as so long to really decide who inspires me, but there are a few triathletes that I've spoken to, like Richard Murray and Rachel Klammer from the Netherlands. They were here on a training camp, and they were really great speaking to us Namibian triathletes, and it was really great to listen to what it's like being a pro triathlete.
Yeah, awesome. And taking up this or continuing with the sport in the future, are you looking towards that as well?
Yes, of course, I'm looking towards it, and the Africa Cup races next year are also in mind, and then there's Africa Champs in October in Egypt, which we hope to go to. So there are many events that I'm still looking forward to partaking in.
Okay, and when it comes to the sport, how well Do you think it's going to grow in Namibia in the future, and how is the climate of triathlon looking so far?
I think it's grown so much in the past year already that last year not many people knew that triathlon was a very junior sport. It's normally taken part by much older people. So now that we've got four juniors going to Youth Commonwealth Games, I think that's a great start for us. And then to try spark interest of others, showing them that there are opportunities that triathlon can give you, and that the sport is growing, and it's a really great opportunity for younger kids to maybe be inspired by what we're doing and want to take part.
Okay, and in the future, do you look to also do some engagements with the youth to encourage them to take up the sport?
I think that would be awesome. I've had that idea. I haven't really spoken about it to my coach or anything yet, but I thought that would be really awesome if we could maybe host a camp, not making any promises, but for like juniors, and get them inspired by what we're doing.
Sport and what you're doing. Awesome stuff. And do you have any perhaps last words to encourage the youth to take part in and to be involved in sport in general?
Sport is awesome. It gives you friends for like a lifetime, and the community or the friends I've made in triathlon are some of the closest friends I have, and I'll have them for the rest of my life, which is awesome. So doing sport not only gives you the satisfaction of keeping fit and doing something, you also make really great friends along the way.
Awesome, and that friends include Nathan Chase,
Chloe Rousseau, Marie Stain, Matt Rees-Isaacs. That's so far. My cousin Ethan also takes part in the sport, so we've got a nice little group going that could possibly inspire the younger kids to start.
Okay, so I think that, you know, surrounding yourself with these guys and just being with them also encourages you to do better, right?
Yeah, makes you want to go to training, makes you work hard, has a little bit of friendly competition going. So it's really awesome.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Newsprint Namibia is a web offset printing operation that specializes in the printing of newspapers and commercial inserts. We are the leaders in our industry with the highest quality print work and the shortest turnaround time from computer to print and delivery anywhere in the country daily. Newsprint was established mainly as a newspaper print company, but had to diversify its business to do commercial printing as required in the market. We print commercial inserts previously printed in South Africa in the shortest possible time. We, as an organization, also started printing workbooks for our education system and will also print textbooks for the Namibian market. For more information, please contact print@newsprint.com.
Next, we head to the north to Ongwediva, where Tuyemo Haidula spoke to Tobias Mumoye from the Ministry of Sports. He is a youth officer responsible for young people with disabilities.
Tobias Mumoye. I'm working at the Ministry of Sport, Youth and National Service as a youth officer responsible for young people with disabilities desk in Namibia. The disability desk in the ministry, it is responsible for young people with disabilities. We normally used to look at the issues and the challenges that are facing young people with disabilities and find the way as to how are we going to address those issues. Therefore now, when you see, we normally used to organize some activities and programs that I used to collaborate with some stakeholders and partnership in order for us to seek the ways and means as to how are we going to address the young people needs and challenges that are facing them. If you look at the government or ministerial pillars, we have got youth empowerment, that's the main key. So to collaborate with the stakeholders, it gives an opportunity for us to it gives an opportunity to each and every ministries or government agencies to highlight their role that they need to play. So when it comes to the needs of the young people with disabilities and their challenges that are facing them. So we cannot just address the young people alone. So some of the needs need an intervention of other ministries to play a role on it, so that they can also see and advise how are they going to address those issues in a coalition matters. The challenges are highlighted by some of the youth, because I did some assessment. So from 2014, 15, 16, so up to date. So some of the challenges are imbalance in terms of employment, education, training, and education and vocational training, as well as the full participation when it comes to the political agenda, as well as the challenges when it comes to the health services. So people are complaining, the young people are complaining that they are not given, they don't get an adequate services when it comes to the health. So let me put in this way that Minister of Health responsible for addressing the needs of young people when it comes to the disability grant, not disability grant, but the technical devices. Technical devices, you find a hearing impaired. Hearing impaired, I said, a person who cannot hear, deaf person, they need the hearing aids. So those facilities that they can put on the ears to be to make them accessible to hear a little bit, or the sound or the voice of someone. Those who can be in that particular situation. And also a wheelchair. The wheelchair users, people are in need of the wheelchair. They cannot afford to buy themselves the wheelchair as an individual. They need support from the ministry to provide them with those wheelchair, so that they may be able to walk so freely and independently. Another issue on the employment market, they are also complaining that when they do have a discrimination, they meet a discrimination when it comes to the employment environment. One could be advised or encouraged to the statement says persons with disabilities are encouraged to apply, and then when it comes to the competition, the person could be qualified enough with everything that required him or her to have, and then at the end of the day, when the interview took place, they don't consider that particular person. Now they feel that it's a discrimination against or because of their disabilities that they have. So those are the challenges. Education, the young people with disabilities, they have a special need when it comes to the facilities, study facilities or equipment. So visual impaired, they need braille materials, but some of the institutions, they are denying them, or let me say ignoring them, due to the disabilities that they have. And they are saying that no, those materials are very expensive, study materials are very expensive, so it's difficult for that particular institution to buy or to be able to provide that particular students with those materials due to the lack of resources. Everything is expensive. That is the slogan that you might find in the market. So we maybe need to sit down and give any or mobilize those institutions so that they can at least take it with a serious and put into their consideration, so that in future they will be able to have facilities in place in order for them to accommodate the young people with disabilities. Irrespective of what type of disabilities do the person have, as long as they will be informed as to what type of facilities do they need to have in place, because they don't know when and what time are they going to approached by that particular group. So they need to be ready anytime for those people. That's why they have to organize their management to put those needs into consideration and find the way how to provide them with the necessary study material. I'm so quite excited to meet the two different groups. For those who came to attend the workshop, the first group are already done for two regions, Ohangwena and Oshkoto. And now, currently this week is the last week for the workshop. We have got Sati and Oshana, but they are not really talking the different challenges. Most of the challenges are more the same, looks more the same. And if you have listened to an official opening of our minister, the Minister of Youth and Sport and National Service, she has alluded some of the challenges that she has indicated that, okay, those challenges, we cannot just address those challenges alone. That's why we have to work hand in hand with other ministries in order for those ministries to highlight what belongs to their ministry among of those challenges that are highlighted by the youth with disabilities. Not only the Ministry of Sport, Youth and National Service, responsible for a custodian, to be a custodian of, to be driving the workshop and get the solution of by inviting those different ministries or agencies. So that's why it's not for Ministry of Sport alone. It's just for other ministries who are invited to come in and present. So it's just, and the youth with disability demonstrated their challenges through asking questions and be given the opportunity to alluting their challenges that are facing. And it's when the floor on the ground, each and every ministry can see that, okay, this is in line with our ministry, this is in line with this ministry, and then from there, they are going to pave a way of getting the solution out of that. So that's how we have those type of workshops. And we have also consulted the youth. We gave them an opportunity to ask questions and express themselves as how do they feel about those type of workshops, and what aspects do they think they will build or they will assist them in future. So because some of them, they said no, they have got even a difficulties when they are from their home where they are living with their guardians and parents, that sometimes they want to go to the workshops. The reason behind they are not going, some they could be allowed, some are not, due to the financial strain. They don't have money to pay the transport to bring them at one point where they can be picked by the government vehicle or transport as it was arranged. So those are the challenges that we have experiencing on, and they are even expressed themselves that no, those are the type of problems that we have. And when it comes to the disability grant, they are not enjoying it as it was supposed to be, or as it was given to them to benefit. Those who are benefiting from their grant, it's their guardians and the parents. So, which means that those are the issues that we have been discussing in the 2 different weeks, the first week and the last week. But the same different groups, 2 different groups, they are experiencing the same problems. And those are the issues that we have to look meaningful ways as to how to address, what mechanisms to address those issues. Because they are deserved to get the grant, but end of the day, they are not the one who is enjoying it. There are those guardians who make use of them, so which is totally wrong. I normally used to hear from the councillors' platform in the morning on the radios. Now I thought maybe at certain regions, but now it seems like it's countrywide, because it's 2 different groups are talking the same problems. Those are the things that we want to get the time and ways what solutions that can address those type of problems that are facing by our young people. No, I'm a visually impaired person, a person who cannot see.
Okay.
Yeah, on the old curriculum of yours, you used to say blind, but now as the time goes, now we have a nice terminology that can fit, and we do comfortable with it, which is a visually impaired.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you know of someone you feel should feature on our show, please contact us at brave@synergy.com.na.